So that's how you build a working spray boom. Appreciate you watching. I'll check you later. Nah, I'm just kidding with you. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And today, I'm building a spray boom. Kind of a customized spray boom to how I want it. Now what I got here is a Skag zero-turn spreader sprayer combo, and I'm building a spray boom that hangs off the rear of it. So let me go on and knock out the disclaimer so you know this is not my property. It is property of Skag. It's been a pretty good while ago. They sent this to me to kind of use it, run it, operate it, and give them some feedback. This is a pre-production unit. This is not a production unit, so I don't even know the changes they made to the production units. I ain't got a clue. I'm in no way, shape, form, or fashion affiliated with Skag or this sprayer, other than they hit me up, said, hey, we want to send a machine to you and let you try it out. And that way we can get some feedback from you. And I said yes. This is not a video or review on this machine, just because it would not represent the production model that they have. Now if Skag wants to send me one of their production units that they're selling nationwide, I'll be more than happy to do a very straightforward, very honest, full review on the machine. Matter of fact, next time I email them, I'll ask them that and see what they say. I mean, the worst thing to say is no, right? So before we get into this hot and heavy on the boom right here, a lot of you DIY guys have the Flow Zone or the Strom sprayer that we have on the website. I've now got a 4-foot spray boom for it. Works great. You're going to see me using it quite a bit this coming year. Instead of having one fan tip nozzle, you have 4. So you can cover a wider area. I'll link these up in the description below. You can check them out if you want to. There's one small issue with it. Because this is a quick connect, quick connects right here on the end. This piece here has a tendency to twist a little, okay? Absolutely nothing I can do to fix that. What I do to mine when I use it, once I connect the boom to the wand here, I'll take a little bit of electrical tape and wrap it around it, and that keeps it from twisting. So I'll do a dedicated video on this by itself, but that'll be a little later when we get back in the yard. So I just found out today that this machine's going back to Skag here in the next week or so, and had already started the process of making this boom and making it fit the back of the machine. Luckily the design is incredibly simple, so I can easily fabricate it to fit my turf wear. Why didn't I fit it to the turf wear in the first place? That's because my guys are using them. I don't have access to one right now, but I'll have to make one available, right? So I think the obvious question is, Pete, there's a boom on the front of the thing. It comes on it from the factory. Why put a boom in the back? One reason, and one reason alone. Of course, when we use machines like this with a boom that's built on the machine, we use that boom. But I have had several of my Bermuda customers want me to paint their Bermuda. If you have the boom in the front and it's spraying the paint, and then I'm putting tire tracks through the paint, that's not going to look good. Therefore, I need the boom in the rear so there's no tire tracks present. That is the sole and only reason I'm doing this. I did not have to buy anything for it. All this was just stuff laying around the shop that I have. I have just bukus of spray nozzles and booms and nozzle bodies and fittings and tips and you name it. I mean, it's up there in the shop. It's just an incredible amount of stuff. And so basically I walked around the shop, got some spare hose, some nozzle bodies, some clamps, some caps, and some spray tips, and this is what I made. I had the 1-inch square tubing for another project, so I took that to my buddy Matt, and he does all my welding, and he actually took and fabricated this up. I had a simple design in mind that I used based off of a boom sprayer I bought years ago that mounts on the back of a 4-wheeler rack. You can see it basically just folds up, and of course you can do the other side as well. This way it folds up out of the way in transport or whatever, and that way you don't rip the boom off. And I have it made where we can put a little pin right here to hold the boom in place. So in general terms, what's the purpose of a spray boom? Well, it's pretty simple. to cover a wider area. At least that's the reason I own them. Everything I refer to in this video as far as booms goes, we're going to be talking about painting, because I'm just now getting into that. And so that means I need to get equipped to be able to handle the different jobs. Of course, I have battery powered backpack sprayers with a fan tip or a cone tip. I can do small yards. I have a Toro Multi-Pro, holds 285 gallons and a 20-foot boom that I can do really big stuff like athletic fields. This is a 12-foot boom that I've made. So now that kind of helps me cover all the different jobs that I might have, all the way from a little tiny yard all the way up to a football field. So if you're DIY, a lot of this stuff you can actually go to Tractor Supply and buy like a tank with a prefabricated boom that hooks on a four-wheeler or a zero-turn mower. Save you some trouble building it, and you might even come out a little cheaper. But like I said, I have little to no current money invested in this because I basically had all this stuff laying around the shop. So the basics of it: you need a tank to hold your liquid. You need a pump to pump the liquid. You need some spray tips or nozzles or whatever you want to call them. Then you need some spray hose. That way you're using the pump to transfer the water from the tank that you have to the actual nozzles. So the way I have mine set up, again, it's 12 foot wide. The nozzles are 20 inches apart and 20 inches off the ground. Don't quote me on this, but I think that's a kind of a general rule, that however wide you put the nozzles apart is the height they need to be off the ground. So like I said, I had Matt fabricate the basic part of the boom, the actual structure of the boom. And you can see here I did make it to where it's very easily removable. All I have to do is take out those 3 bolts right there and the whole thing comes off. I had him make it to where the actual boom itself is adjustable, so I can go up or down using these holes right here. Obviously the main reason they fold up is for transportation, so you don't knock your booms off. And the other reason is they fold up so I can actually take the boom off and separate it from the mount for easy storage. Daggone it. I just dropped my sun drop. Man, that's like spilling gold around here. Now most of this stuff is pretty basic. You can pick it up at your local farm store. And actually, these 2 pieces right here, I didn't have those. I actually bought those at the Tractor Supply right down the street. So it's really easy. Once you get your spacing and know what spacing that you want to use on the boom, and what I mean by spacing is how far apart the nozzles are. Measure out that spacing on the boom. Mark your boom with a Sharpie. I have a 1-inch square tubing, so I use 1-inch clamps for the nozzle bodies, and then I go ahead and attach those. Now once I get them attached along the entire boom, then I'm going to go back and cut my spray hose the correct length. Sometimes this spray hose can be kind of tight to get on. A little trick I use is I use a little WD-40. That'll help slide it on easier. There's a rare occasion I'll put a little heat on the tubing, but for the most part I don't have to do that. You want to be sure and you put a hose clamp on each connection. Now I've done this a million times. I've put a boom together and forgot to put the hose clamp on after I'd already connected the hose. So that's no problem. It's super easy to go back and put the clamp on after you put the hose on. You basically take the clamp and reverse it and unlock it, wrap it around the hose, and then tighten it down. So the way I have this boom made, the center section is made in an L shape, so my clamps wouldn't work with that, so I had to use a special nozzle body to be able to mount to the center section. And basically all I had to do to make that happen was drill a hole. Then once I drill my hole, I can put my nut on the bottom side and I'm good to go. So once I've repeated this process for the entire boom, I need to hook up to a water supply. And in this case, this machine already has a pump and water tanks on it. So all I did was tap into one of the main lines. Then I routed the line in such a way that it's not going to get hung up or caught on anything. Then I attached it to the boom itself. One thing I also do is make sure that you put tie straps anywhere that the hose may be loose. And once you've done all that, you'll have yourself a spray boom. Now the next thing I need to do is calibrate it. Of course I'll do that outside. I'll be able to go out to my customers' yards that have Bermuda and spray them green. Now, if somebody that might be interested in that spray paint for yards, there's a link in the description below. Get you 10% off on their paint. And I want to make myself really clear. I don't get paid off of that. That coupon code is strictly for you to get a discount for something you want. It's absolutely nothing in it for me. I don't have a dog in the fight. So again, just so I'm clear, I'm not an affiliate with them. I don't make any money off of it. The coupon code is for your benefit and your benefit only. I don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm excited now. One thing I am going to do when I get it calibrated is I'm going to go out here and put a second coat of paint on my Bermuda out here. Y'all remember I've already painted it one time, but I want it just a little bit darker, so I'm going to go out and use this. That'll give me a little bit of time to practice on it before I go to a paying customer's yard. One of these yards is 32,000 square feet. I will be filming that process using this machine. So be sure and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss that. So hey, as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.